In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a dog named Max. Max was known throughout the village for his cleverness and loyalty. However, there was one trait that overshadowed all his virtues: his insatiable greed. Max was always on the lookout for food. No matter how much he had, it was never enough. The villagers often found him sniffing around, trying to snatch extra morsels from their tables, or scavenging through bins for any scraps. One sunny afternoon, Max was wandering along the banks of the village's clear, tranquil river. He was on the prowl for something to eat when he stumbled upon a butcher's shop. Through the open door, Max spotted a large, juicy bone lying unattended on the counter. His mouth watered at the sight. Seeing no one around, Max seized the opportunity. He stealthily crept into the shop, grabbed the bone with his teeth, and darted out before anyone could notice. Feeling triumphant, he trotted toward the river, eager to enjoy his prize in peace. As Max crossed a wooden bridge spanning the river, he glanced down and saw his own reflection in the water. To Max's greedy eyes, it appeared as though another dog was beneath the bridge, holding an equally large and delicious bone. Max, never one to miss an opportunity for more, was overtaken by his greed. He thought, if I can get that bone too, I'll have two bones to enjoy. Without realizing it was his own reflection, Max barked loudly at the other dog, demanding that it drop the bone. But as he barked, the bone in his mouth slipped out and fell into the river with a splash. Max watched in horror as his prized possession sank to the bottom of the river, out of reach. The other dog and its bone disappeared along with it. Heartbroken and empty-mouthed, Max stood on the bridge, staring down at the ripples in the water. He realized too late that his greed had cost him the bone he already had. Feeling defeated, Max wandered back to the village, head hung low. The other dogs, who had been watching the whole scene from a distance, approached him. They had always admired Max for his cleverness, but were often frustrated by his greed. One of the older dogs, Rex, stepped forward. "Max, we saw what happened at the river. Your greed led you to lose the bone you had. If you had been content with what you already had, you would be happily gnawing on that bone right now." Max sighed deeply, understanding the truth in Rex's words. "You're right, Rex. I've been too greedy, always wanting more and never appreciating what I have. I've learned my lesson the hard way." The dogs gathered around Max, offering him comfort and support. They had all experienced moments of greed in their lives, but they had learned to find contentment in what they had. To help Max, the dogs decided to share their own food with him, teaching him the value of sharing and generosity. They showed him that true happiness comes not from having more, but from appreciating what you have and the kindness of others. Over time, Max changed his ways. He no longer prowled the village in search of extra food. Instead, he enjoyed playing with the other dogs, helping the villagers, and sharing meals with his friend. He found joy in the simple pleasures of life and the companionship of those around him. The villagers noticed the change in Max. They were pleased to see him more content and less greedy. They rewarded his good behavior with treats and affection, further reinforcing his new outlook on life. One day, as Max sat by the river, watching the sun set over the hills, he reflected on how much he had changed. He realized that his life was much richer now, not because he had more bones or treats, but because he had learned to appreciate what he had and the friends who stood by him. Max's story spread through the village, becoming a beloved tale told to children and adults alike. It served as a reminder of the dangers of greed and the importance of gratitude and generosity. The tale of the greedy dog and the reflection in the river became a moral lesson cherished by all. And so, Max lived the rest of his days as a happy, content dog, surrounded by friends and filled with gratitude. He never forgot the lesson he learned that fateful day at the river, and his story continued to inspire others to find joy in what they have and the love they share.